Good morning. Welcome back. I have a new topic to discuss today. It's called, what shall I call it? Delivery services. You got a handful of them out there. You got Uber, you got Uber Eats, you got DoorDash, you got Grub Hub. Okay? Now, these services have been around for a few years now, and they seem to be a big hit with people. You can have your food delivered to you, you can have your groceries delivered to you. Uh, if you don't have transportation, such as my daughter, she doesn't have a license. So when she was working, she would take an Uber wherever she wanted to go when her parents weren't around to take her where she needed to go. So today, I'm looking through my bank statement like I do all the time. I do that to just verify the purchases that I made, and I'm also looking for any unauthorized purchases, on my account. I come across this one at the top of the page from DoorDash Pass for $9.99. Now, I don't have a DoorDash Pass. I don't use DoorDash. So, I call up DoorDash. Very nice people to talk with. And I tell them what's going on. First thing they ask me for is a email address that's associated with the account. I said I can't give you an email address associated with that account because I don't have an account with DoorDash. Nor does my wife. And they said, well, do you have the last four digits of the card number? I gave it to them. Then they asked for the expiration date. I gave it to them. They looked it up. Okay? Now, I did tell them, because at the time I'm looking through my bank statement, I said there are 3 charges on here dating back to the middle of August that I did authorize. I says, my daughter, who is really ill, she's suffering from cardiac failure. Okay, so she's no longer able to work. She gets depressed because she's home all the time and such. So we try to make her happy, make her feel good. So my wife let her order a couple things on 3 different occasions through DoorDash. And they told me about it, and I said, sure, that's fine. No problem. So I said, but this charge for $9.99 does not belong to us. And they were happy to go ahead and refund the charge. They sent me a confirmation through my email address that I gave them, and we're good with that. But I did tell them, I said, you're being put on notice right now. I expect you to block any future charges through your service on that card number. And I also expect you to flag or close that account that the my wife's card is associated with, because I said that's a fraudulent account. I said I will be following up with the bank. I said I will be keeping an eye on my statement for any future charges, and I expect there to be none if you do your job. Okay? Now, the idea of an Uber Eats or DoorDash or Grub Hub, that's a novel idea. It does tend to make people's lives a little easier, especially if you don't want to go out grocery shopping. You want your food delivered to you. Or if, you want a quick meal or something, you don't feel like cooking, but yet you don't feel like going out to a restaurant, so you order it online through DoorDash or Grub Hub or Uber Eats, and they deliver it to you. Now, about 3-4 years ago, when we pretty much heard about the services, there were a few times that we used Uber Eats. I think this is before I even knew about DoorDash. And one of the reasons why I don't use it is very simple. the delivery charge is extremely expensive. Okay, so I'll give you an example. We ordered Chinese food one time. It was $105. We did it online. Well, I don't know, maybe an hour later, we get a notification food has been delivered. The food wasn't delivered. Okay, so what did I do? I went back to the same restaurant that I ordered online. I ordered the same exact food that I ordered online. And without it being delivered, it was like $50 cheaper. So I knew right then and there, I'm like, this is no way, this is bogus. So they ain't using this service no more. So the person that was in charge of delivering my food felt it was more important for them to eat it or bring it home to their family than it was to actually deliver it to me, the person that ordered it. Now, I'm a kind-hearted guy. I'm like, well, maybe they're having it real tough. They can't afford food. Maybe doing this Uber Eats is a new job that they picked up, a way to, make a little bit of extra money. So, okay, I'm fine with that. But I did call Uber Eats the next day, and I was refunded my money. So from that point on, I stopped using it. Then I think it was that same summer, the wife and I were traveling back home to the Northeast to see my mother, who I haven't seen in 16 years. Plus, it was like a nice little vacation for us. We haven't been on vacation, but maybe once in at the time, 35 years we've been married. Just the wife and I, no kids, no nothing. And we like to drive, so we drove from Texas all the way back to the Northeast. Well, we were one of the two stops that we made. We stayed at a hotel in Erie, Pennsylvania. Beautiful city, by the way. When it was over 100 degrees here in Texas at the time we went, it was in the high 40s there at nighttime. So anyways, we get a notification about a pending charge from Uber Eats. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, we're in Erie, Pennsylvania. Okay. My debit card's with me. My wife is with hers. We got cash. And said, we didn't order any Uber Eats. So I had to call the bank, put a stop on the charge, and bingo. The card immediately got canceled. Okay. But luckily, like I said, we had the wife's card, we had cash. So we were good. But it's just the idea that somehow, some way, after the 1, 2, or 3 times we used it, somebody else was able to use it as well. Okay? And biggest issue I'm finding with these companies is it doesn't seem like they have a very secure way of preventing unauthorized users from taking your information and using it for their own gains. I'm sure there's some kind of verification process that they can go through, that they can add in. So if you're going to use Uber Eats or DoorDash, besides your credit or your debit card information, there's 1 or 2 more key pieces of information that they're going to need to know before they'll accept the charge. Okay? It has to be. They can do this. Okay? So, this delivery service stuff, yeah, it's a novel idea. People will use it because it's easier. Yeah, some people are willing to spend the extra money for it to be delivered. I'll no longer do it. All right, and hackers in this day and age are having a field day. Okay, because they can easily hack in to company servers and stuff like that and grab all kinds of information that they can exploit for their own gain. Okay, I mean, here recently, a few months back, T-Mobile suffered a major data breach. Okay, millions of users private information was stolen. As a matter of fact, my daughter was affected. My wife and I, we at T-Mobile, our information wasn't affected. As a matter of fact, a couple of, I think, loan accounts were opened up in her name through her social security number. She had to fight all that. Okay, and you know, it got resolved, but a lot of headaches, you know. You know, we as society, we have enough of regulations on us through the government. Nobody likes regulations. But I think for services like this, they need to implement some kind of regulation that hopefully is going to help stop this from happening. Like, as a matter of fact, like, if I log into, say, the bank where I have both of my car notes from, they send me a code to my phone that I have to put in before I can actually access my account. And there's a couple other places that I use do the same thing. Why can't DoorDash or even Uber Eats do that? Okay? If they don't have your phone number or whatever, even if they do have your phone number, but if they don't have your physical phone, okay, if you're going to use your services, okay, so I want to order a ride. All right, well, we're going to send a code to your phone that you have to type in to verify that it's actually you. I'm sure they can do something like that. Other places have already started doing that as a way of extra security. And it seems to be working out just fine. All right, so I just want to warn people, keep an eye out on your bank statements, your credit card statements, whenever you use Uber Eats, DoorDash, Uber in general, Grub Hub. When you purchase something, make sure you pay close attention to your statements to make sure that you authorized that particular charge and that there aren't any unauthorized charges that are now starting to pop up. If they do, you need to squash it immediately. And after that, personally, I wouldn't use your services no more. Because one thing I did learn about their services, and I watched a few videos, there are people that, you know, they're making good money. Now, not all their assignments pay a decent amount of money, okay? But I do know from watching some videos of people that are DoorDash delivery drivers or Uber drivers or Uber Eats drivers, some of them actually make pretty damn good money, mainly by the tips that some of their customers give. Now, I don't mind tipping for good services, I really don't. But I mean, it's, you know, these are services I can no longer use because I've lost total faith in the services to keep my information that I give them private and safe and out of the hands of people that don't need it. But then again, you know, that's up to you. I'd like to hear your comments. If I don't, that's fine too. Have a nice day.